Hey guys, and welcome back for another quick Tuesday tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these super cute, fast and easy no machine sweater pumpkins. These are so adorable, having them placed around your house, especially around the fall season. You can use your old sweaters that you don't wear anymore, or you can go over to the thrift shop and grab some used sweaters. So I went over to the thrift shop, and when I was looking for my sweaters, I was trying to look for textures. So of course there's the cable knit, which is that crisscrossy pattern, and the regular knit. And then this was a great sweater. It was only $4, but it has so many different textures, so you can have so many different looks of your pumpkins. I'm gonna be making really small pumpkins because I wanted to make a bunch of them to put like in a bowl or display. So the first thing I did was cut about 10 inches off of the one sleeve. I'm going to leave the cuff on it. I'm gonna use that actually as the top of my pumpkin. So we're gonna cinch up the bottom. I'm just going to turn the sleeve inside out, and then I'll go get a needle and some thread. I'm going to be using a embroidery floss for this tutorial. I like the embroidery floss just so that I can kind of anchor everything that I do within the embroidery floss, and you'll see what I mean. And I like to use my embroidery needle because it is a blunt end, and you're very likely to accidentally stab yourself. So even if you have a large darning needle, that would be great also. Just a needle that isn't too pointy so you don't end up stabbing yourself throughout the process. So I placed a knot at the end of my embroidery floss. I use about 1 or 2 yards of floss. Right now I'm using a short piece, but if you wanted to do this all in one long piece of embroidery floss, then I would use about 1 or 2 yards just to be sure. It is a little long, but then you use it up very quickly. So I'm just going to take my needle and go all the way around the perimeter of the sleeve, placing my needle every 1/4 of an inch. And then once I get to the start, I'm just going to pull my embroidery floss and cinch it all up. And then if you want, you can create some knots. So I'll go through the other side. Sometimes I'll wrap the embroidery floss around it just to tie it up really nice and tight. And then I'm just going to place the needle aside for a minute until I do the next step. So this is how it should look, and we can start to stuff the inside of our pumpkin. So I will be using some regular polyester fiber fill, which is just like pillow stuffing. So if you want to go grab one of those blue whale pillows at Walmart, they're super cheap and you get a lot of stuffing. Or if you have, just some hanging around. Or some old scraps of fabric and stuff. I mean, it doesn't matter. Whatever you have to shove in there, it will work just fine. So I'm going to put in quite a lot. It's going to kind of overflow a bit, but that's okay because it's going to compact a little bit, and we want to have a little bit of a firm pumpkin. So to make sure that we can have the texture and the lines in the side of the pumpkin. So I'm just going to bring my needle up to the top. I'm placing it at the bottom of the cuff. If you have no cuff on your sleeve piece, you can just do it about a 1/2 inch away from the top of it. I am using the cuff as added texture, so I'll show you that later on, but of course you don't have to do that. So like I did before, I'm just going to place my needle every 1/4 of an inch, and then we will cinch it up. I'm going to tie a little knot here, and then we can start to create our indentations on the side of the pumpkins. Normally I like to create 4 sections, and then I'll cut those 4 sections in half to make it 8 sections. So all you have to do is take that embroidery floss. That's why I like to have one long piece so that I can just continue on going. So I'll take this existing floss, and I'm just going to take the needle and bring it to the bottom, stab the pumpkin right through the center, and bring the needle all the way through the top of it. And then you're just going to pull on your needle until the thread is nice and tight, and you create your desired indentation. So however, deep you want it to look. And then I'll just go to the opposite side. And again, place that needle right down the middle. and then I'll just continue on creating my sections. So I just wanted to mention, if you're not already, I hope that you subscribe to the channel, and of course hit that notification bell to be alerted of new and future tutorials. I have videos every Tuesdays and Fridays, and once in a while I'll throw in a live stream here and there. And of course, don't forget to smash the like button, as the kids like to say. That really helps my channel grow, and you know, of course, just support the cause. So yeah, so once you're done that, then you're just going to tie off your embroidery floss, and you'll see that my pumpkin has shrunk significantly, but this is exactly how I want it. I want it to be like one of those little gourd pumpkins. So of course, if you want to have a more, you know, a bigger pumpkin, then just don't make those little lines tighter. Now I'm going to work on the stem. This is how I chose to do it. Of course, you can use anything you have to make a stem, but I just took a piece of burlap. I cut a strip of it about 1 inch in width, and I mean, it really, I just made it super messy. I just like the texture of having the stem a little bit more messy and not too perfect. If you want it to be perfect, then of course, you know, make sure that it's perfect. But if not, then just, you know, who cares? It's a stem, it's a pumpkin, it's cute, either way. So I'm gonna take those little cuff pieces, and I'm actually going to flatten it. I did cut off a little bit of the cuff, so it's not as much as it was before, but either way, it probably would have been fine if I would have just left it. And I'm just gonna glue that down, and of course you can see the stuffing right there, but that's okay. I'm gonna take my stem and I'm just gonna stick it right down in the center, and then that will hide that stuffing. And I'm just gonna place a lot of glue and then just push my little stem right down there, and then I'll just cut off maybe some of the extra little bits, so it's not going super crazy, just a little bit rustic. And then that's it. So I made another one that you'll see where I didn't create that little cuff texture. I made that out of the next part of the sleeve up, so the part that didn't have any cuff on it. So here it is. So as you can see, it's still super cute. I actually kind of prefer the other one more, but I do prefer this one. This one, I added that cuff texture, and I think it's so cute. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and of course, check back Friday for another tutorial. Bye guys.